Well, we've tried obviously every year to change it up a little bit and add some new things. I mean, this year we've got a lot of new LED going in. We have a number of new displays. Our presenting partner again, Price Chopper, had a beautiful animated display designed for the farewell for everybody as they're leaving the show this year. So we're very excited about this year's show, and we can't wait to present it to the folks in the Capital Region.
Well, Ion Television is again proud to be one of your sponsors being there. Albany Broadcasting is proud to be a sponsor. Those are your really two most important ones.
Absolutely. I mean, look,
there's no one else.
We couldn't do it without our partners, and you know,
I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
Hey, and for those Ion fans, which you know, they catch all those series that are on, and for all those Ion fans, we invite them down from, you know, whatever market they're in. I mean, it's a short drive to Albany. It's a great weekend getaway and overnight. There's plenty to do here, and you cap it off by visiting the premier holiday event in the state.
Why do you? I have my own thoughts on this, but why do you think Capital Holiday Lights, an incredible light show, gets bigger and better every year? We're into year 17, but there have been so many great shows around the nation. When we started out, like, wow, we copied them, but they're gone and we're still here. What's the difference?
Well, I think for a big part of it is that the holiday season and spirit that you like to see, you know, basically rekindled every year that time starts with our setup. When our volunteers come out of the woodwork basically in mid-September, and we start moving toward you know, getting the show ready, and you generally see that humanitarian, that spirit of the season that we all look for. It starts to show in folks. I mean, here we are, it's middle of September when we start all that, and people are in a holiday mode. They're cheery, they're happy to be, you know, thinking about and actually performing the work related to, you know, putting on a Christmas show, a holiday show.
But that spirit exists in other cities too, but their shows are gone, and we'll steer here. What?
Well, we've got, obviously you alluded to the fact we do have some great partners in presenting the show. We change up the show as much as we can every year. You know, we probably spend a little more maybe than some of those other venues did, you know, in making sure you kept it fresh. So and look, there's nothing more beautiful than Washington Park when the lights are all a glitter. So when you sprinkle in a little snow with that, and you've got the makings for a perfect seasonal event.
I think the reason it comes back year after year after year, because you've got people there that have been there from day one, and it's a personal thing to them. It's a personal thing to your volunteers that they make sure the show works. I think that's the main reason you're back.
Without a doubt. I mean, look, there's been folks, and I'm almost afraid to mention any of them so that I don't forget any of them. But when you talk about folks like Carlo Figlamini and Chief Wolfgang, you know, is still around helping us set up. I mean, those guys were there when we started it in year one. You know, I was there in year one. It wasn't as involved, but I was a brand new, you know, in the middle of my career as a police officer, so, you know, got as involved as I could. But there's so many folks that are still involved. Our partners who work to make the lake house beautiful. You know, Ralph is still working on the lake house for us. Every year he takes 10 days off from his job. He uses vacation time to come and help us to transform that lake house into the holiday destination at the end of the ride, where the kiddies can go in and spend some time with Santa. Mom and Dad can pick up that last minute item for Christmas. And speaking of that, Santa's been with us since day one. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
He's a loyal dude. He comes down from the North Pole every night.
Absolutely. It's great.
He's incredible. You alluded to in the beginning of the show, it's economic importance to the Capital Region. You've got restaurants that get business, hotels and motels that get business because of it, gas stations. It really has, the economic benefit is really great to the Capital Region, isn't it?
Well, it's funny, you can tell if the folks that have made a ride for the night. I mean, we've had people come through with pizza boxes they're passing around in the car because that's what they've decided to do instead of, you know, stopping at a local eatery and sitting down. We've had folks, you know, drive from Amsterdam and you know, as they get closer to the park, they'll stop at Paisan's, pick up a pizza, they'll have their Dunkin' Donuts cup with their hot chocolate, and they'll make their way through the park, and it's an event. It's a great night out. I would add a very cost-effective, affordable night out. It's a great family night out.
You got people that come from Buffalo, Syracuse.
We have people that come down every year from Buffalo. That they'll come down. They spend the weekend or the night down at the Albany Hilton, which is what it is now, and they'll spend the night there. And they get up. They'll do the carriage ride one year. They've asked about the trolleys, and I don't know if they plan on building their crowd, but I mean they come every year religiously, and they're driving by other shows to come to ours, so it's awesome.
Now, besides Santa, who is very important, what is going to make year 17 very important for Capital Holiday Lights and the Albany Police Athletic League?
Well, for us, as far as PAL, it's monumental for a couple of reasons. One, it is year 17, as we've been talking about, right. And no one ever fathomed that we would make it that 17 years. When we implemented the show and began the show, the average life expectancy in any community around the country, we were told, is 3 to 5 years, and we were fully prepared to have a nice little show in Albany here, have a run. We never anticipated it, growing to be the Capital Region's premier event. I mean, we had 140,000 people visit the show last year. Whether that was getting in their car and driving down from Buffalo, or the family on Lark Street who came over and walked through on one of our special walk nights. Folks came from near and far. To track the number of vehicles that come through with the Mass plates, with the Vermont plates, with the Connecticut plates. I mean, we can see where folks are coming from, and it's awesome. But for us at PAL, it's also our 25th anniversary of service to youth and service to the greater Albany community. And when we think of our accomplishments over those 25 years and how we've grown from providing recreational days and respite for kids, or being that outlet for parents on those holidays when kids didn't have full days of school, so that they had something to do, someplace to go, to becoming a full service provider of youth services in the city, and the number of PAL chapters that we've helped start in the area, or we might have been the catalyst for them to start, and to the 3,000 youth that we're now serving annually. I mean,
what's this year's theme of the show?
This year's theme is silver and gold, in recognition of our 25 years of service to the youth, and the gold portion just seemed to be the natural tag, because that's where we're headed. We see our service to both the youth and to the community through Holiday Lights as a long-term investment of our time and our talents.
Wow, that's and the Capital Holiday Lights is coming up shortly. When's it start?
November 29th.
Right.
Annually, it's worked for us. There's some shows around. The different vendors that we use. They share with us information from the other parks that they service and participate in around the country. And the shows vary in length around the country. Our partner that we're using this year runs a show in Branson, Missouri. Mm-hmm. She opened on November 1st.
Right.
And runs until January 15th. 75, 78 days. That's a long time. This year our show is 37 days. Last year it was 42 because of the way the calendar laid out. So it's a little shorter run this year, a little more manageable when it comes to the fact that so much of what we do relies on the volunteers who I couldn't even begin to imagine and add up the thousands upon thousands of hours that have been put in since we've started this show, not only with Holiday Lights, but with PAL overall. I mean, the community is just great.
One thing you've been able to do is work with the Albany County Sheriff's Department, and you have a work release program where folks, instead of sitting in their jail cell all day, come down and help set up Capital Holiday Lights, make sure it stays okay, and help with the teardown. That's a very interesting program you developed.
Well, actually, Sheriff Craig Apple, when he came in, he implemented this program, and we heard about it, and we reached out to him, and as a result, we've developed a tremendous relationship, and we have had the good fortune that the inmate workforce team as it's referred to. They've been in the park, since October 25th, working with us, working with our volunteers. It's a great service, not only to the community, because it helps obviously keep the cost down of putting on the show, which ultimately results in a better net for the programs that we provide to the youth. But it's a great way for those guys and gals that are incarcerated for various reasons to begin some some community service and realize and understand what it means to give back, and hopefully give them a new and different outlook on life. And we've had gentlemen over the past 3 years that when they've got out of the county facility have reached out to us and expressed an interest in helping out where they can and participating in different programs and their abilities to swing a hammer, help us out at the PAL Center when we needed some maintenance work and stuff like that. So it's been a great program to be a part of, and we're very pleased with our affiliation and partnership with Sheriff Apple and the Albany County.
One thing
team.
which comes up it seems to every year, or it's come up frequently, is some folks would like the Capital Holiday Lights to go over to Bleecker Stadium or maybe to Lincoln Park, and they have their reasons why, but continues to thrive and do well at Washington Park. Your thoughts on that?
Well, there's a number of obvious economic reasons that would make it prohibitive. For starters, the infrastructure that we've invested in the park, which not only serves the Holiday Lights, but serves Park Playhouse, serves Tulip Fest, serves the various festivals and celebrations that are held throughout the year. That infrastructure we put in, and it was developed over a number of years, but it's very costly and sizable. You're talking something probably to the tune of $300,000 or so is what the estimates have been given to us from the folks at National Grid, from the various privates that have helped work on the show over the year. So that infrastructure obviously would be very difficult to move and duplicate in this day and age when things have changed so much in the economy and businesses have been forced to tighten up or cut back, as it may be. It would almost seem impossible. Plus, honestly, when in looking at the various locations around the city, there's really nothing more suitable than Washington Park relative to the hills and the trees and just the whole magistry and pageantry that's involved in presenting the show. That ooh and ah effect that we like to refer to and have talked about so many times over the past 17 years just would not be the same in the backseat of the car from those kids if you didn't have those hills to climb and those curves to turn. So I mean, for us, Washington Park has been our home for 17 years, and we hope to be there for many more years to come. And the city has been wonderful over the years in support.
Well, as Mayor Jennings has said, it's a park, and the park is to be used.
Yep.
And also, too, during November, December, and early January, you have people there, and the park is illuminated, so it's a lot safer than it might be if it were dark.
We obviously, we definitely add to the security of the park just by our mere presence and the time that they are. I couldn't say for a minute that there aren't people that are inconvenienced,
right.
For sure. Just like, when Lark Fest goes on, I'm sure there's folks that are inconvenienced over in the neighbors. St. Patrick's Parade, or any number of church festivals that are held in various neighborhoods when they have certain parking restrictions, etc. We do the best we can to limit the impact. We address the traffic concerns when they're brought to our attention if something develops that we're not used to. On nights like, for instance, the last run every year goes through the Holiday Lights in the park. I mean, you're talking 2,200 runners who, a good portion of those runners, and we've talked to them, they're doing it, especially the walkers who walk through it, and it's the last run, but a lot of them walk. They're doing it for that ability to go through the park and see the park and the lights in all its splendor. I can imagine, and I'm pretty certain that our forefathers who developed and constructed and built that park did it with one thing in mind, for people to use and enjoy. And and obviously the proof is in the pudding. We have a number of folks that are enjoying the park, and we'll continue to be good stewards of the facility as we use it. We try to leave it better every year than we got it. We also try to make a little improvement when we're asked to contribute. Well, we've done tree plantings over the years. We've done shrubs. We've done gazebos when we've been asked to help. We've assisted with playground equipment. There's an island right in the middle of the park. There was some discussion. We're talking about replacing a tree there. I mean, when you're talking about putting a mature tree in an island, you're talking about a $3,000 or so investment. So we like to partner, and that's what PAL is. That's what we've done so well for 25 years, is that ability to collaborate with other partners in the community that are doing like work and similarly have the same objectives to provide that service to our youth and our families.